Sup everyone. Before we get started, don't get this twisted. There's a million different ways people can talk about Yoimiya the character. She could be good, she could be bad, she could be mid, she could be everything in between. And the reality is all of them are true depending on the situation of your account. I'm just labeling one scenario out of all of these. And for the people who are here just to find some sort of validation, comfort, or justification for what they're about to do to their bank accounts, hey, you have one video here supporting your claim. Now let's just move right into it before you guys all get bored, because today we're talking about whether or not Yoimiya is worthwhile for the general player. I'm talking about people who are considering to build their first on-field DPS, or maybe a second or third, right? If you're on your 7th on-field DPS, I don't think you're going to be watching these kind of videos like, oh, should I build my 7th one? You're probably going to build it. But for people who are curious, well, is Yoimiya worth my time? Is Yoimiya worth the resources? How likely am I going to be using Yoimiya a year from now, 2 years from now? And to be frank with you, Yoimiya isn't a character that's going to fit most people's playstyles and team options. There you go, I said it. Now the hate train's going to begin. Really, there's no winning to this, right? I can make a video saying Yoimiya is the best character in the game and I love her because she's cute. And there will be people in the comment section saying, oh, how can you justify a character being meta or not meta based off of her looks and how adorable she is? And then on the flip side, I can come in and say, well, she's really bad because there's a lot of things that you have to get right to make sure that she functions at her optimal and intended performance. Then again, people in the comments will be like, oh, well, you know, it's really not that hard if you just do this, this, and this. So, yeah, I don't see a problem with it. And I'm pretty sure free-to-plays have the resources to easily meet all of these benchmarks, because both of those are true. It's true. But what ends up happening is we just talk in circles. We never go anywhere, right? It's just like, oh, do whatever the hell you want, right? Like, don't do anything for the matter, because everything you do, it doesn't matter, right? There's a group of people who just want to let the world know that it really doesn't matter what you do in Genshin, but this video is not for those people. So that's why I'm telling you, Yoimiya can be a handful. She is not a character that most people can just pick up and play very optimally. For example, I'll give you a character who people can pick up and probably slot into a couple teams, and cheap teams at that, to have function at very high levels. Bennett, Xingqiu, Sucrose, Raiden Shogun, Zhongli, Kazuha, and Yelan. Why are these characters considered so valuable and ranked pretty high on a lot of people's tier lists? It's because they fit in many different teams and they could fit in cheap free-to-play teams. Yoimiya is not one of those characters. And for those who are keen, you can already see the team that I have right here on screen. It's Yoimiya, Yelan, Yunjin, Zhongli. It's a pretty good team for her. You'll also notice that this team isn't perfect. There's no healer in this team. If you can't kill the enemies in time and your Zhongli shield is not enough for whatever reason, this team can start to struggle. On top of that, 3 out of 4 characters in this team is a 5-star character, and the only 4-star character is considered a rather niche unit, which fits about one other team apart from this one. So this is what I was saying from the very beginning of the video, is that if you want to play Yoimiya, she's not going to be a character that's cheap to build. You're going to have to fork out quite a bit of resources, not only to build her, but her optimal team. Sure, you can get away with Yoimiya, Xingqiu, Bennett, and Zhongli, right? That cuts it down to 2 characters. However, notice that Bennett and Xingqiu are very highly contested units in more teams than one. The national team uses it, the traditional version, right? Raiden national team uses it, Freeze team uses Xingqiu, and just about every other team can use Bennett. Do you realistically want to tie Xingqiu and Bennett into a Yoimiya team for any difficult challenges that requires maybe more than one team, namely the Abyss? Not that it really matters, but for a lot of people it does. And wouldn't you want your Yoimiya to be able to clear the most difficult content in the game and have her perform at the highest level you are capable of having her perform? And the beauty of this current team is Yoimiya, Yelan, Yunjin, and Zhongli is that Yunjin and Yelan in many ways feels like they're primarily designed for a character like Yoimiya. So if you're already forking out around $100, maybe more, onto Yoimiya, why not spend the extra resources to make her perform very well? And there's a reason for this. It's not simply because you want Yoimiya to perform really well, it's so that she doesn't fight for those other 2 characters that are insanely popular in so many other teams. So think of this as a scenario where if you want to build Yoimiya and you don't have Yelan and Yunjin, you are going to not only have to spend more powerful units on her team, but you're actively then taking away those units from other available teams. So if your account is already a little difficult to make work, you're just gonna make this much harder for yourself. It may not be a problem now, but there's likely a scenario down the line where you wish you had alternatives to Xingqiu and Bennett. And who knows, right now Yelan is a great alternative to Xingqiu. Many would say she's an upgraded version of Xingqiu, but there will come a day where an upgraded version of Bennett will come out. I really would like to see how Hoyoverse is going to design that character as to not break the entire game. But that is where we currently are right now. Yoimiya was originally released as a character with somewhat decent team options. Now she has better options, and if you don't have access to those better alternatives, you are stuck playing her with highly contested units which aren't really fully optimized for her unique playstyle. I've mentioned in the past that Bennett's burst skill doesn't really bode very well for Yoimiya, and this has been said by Yoimiya mains, not just me. It has been talked about by speedrunners, which are like as meta as you can go, and of course there have been casual players who tried that team. It's like, you know, it's okay, but I really wish Bennett's burst was a little bigger, or Yoimiya's auto attacks didn't push her back so much. But Yoimiya's auto attack push her back is to create additional distance between her and the enemies, which made sense from a combat design perspective. However, now in Yoimiya's traditional team, it at times can be pretty annoying to deal with, and this is something it takes you to play those teams for you to realize. And maybe a person watching this video might be like, oh, you know, I'm pretty tolerable when it comes to these kind of small issues, I don't mind it. There may be another guy watching this video who absolutely minds it, and it could be a deal breaker. That's the problem with me sitting here and giving you guys these advices. I need to touch on this. Again, this isn't gonna be a one video fits all type of scenario, people. Maybe go watch another video, maybe watch another 2-3 videos, see how big of an issue this is. Maybe ask around in the community, hey, has this been a big issue? And maybe don't ask in a Yoimiya mains community. Of course, those people in there are not going to give a damn about Bennett's burst being too small, or having to slot Bennett and Xingqiu into a Yoimiya team, essentially throwing one of the best free-to-play teams out the window. Ask people who have Yoimiya and stop playing. Why did they stop? Don't mention the Bennett circle. It's like, oh, did you stop playing because of that? Then they have something to lean on. Ask them, hey, do you have Yoimiya? Why aren't you playing Yoimiya? Do you find her to be a good character? Oh, how come you stopped using her? Do you have Yelan? Oh, you have her? Do you have Yunjin? Oh, you don't have Yunjin. Now why don't you use Bennett? Right? Stuff like that. Listen, people, these videos are always meant to just be a reference. I'm sharing with you my experience, and I have every character in the game. I built them myself. I spent the resources. I tested them. I had videos back in the day when they first came out talking about them, giving my impressions, and now these are just updated videos of me testing characters, playing characters, trying to use them in the overworld, trying to use them in the abyss, and I'm giving you my opinion. I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can, which results in me taking stance on all spectrums of the character. I can tell you her pros, I can tell you her cons, I can give you a whole slew of reasons why she would be a good pickup for many people, and I can give you many reasons why she would be a terrible pickup for others. And a lot of people would see these two videos be like, oh, make up your mind, she's either amazing or she's bad, because people want simple answers when simple answers simply don't exist in the real world or in this fictional world. I'm sorry to tell you, yes, tier lists are a great way to evaluate a character's general usefulness. Yoimiya is not going to be more valuable than someone like Kazuha, someone like Raiden Shogun, Bennett even. But in the right scenario, she could be more valuable than all of those characters I just mentioned. In the right scenario, for the right person. Yes, you guys could be like, oh, you're just nitpicking, but when I'm making content, I want to service as many people as I can. That's why I have to tell you guys all this stuff. I have to show you guys all this stuff. I have to mention it. But for the people watching this video who want me to say Yoimiya is an amazing character and everybody should give her a shot, try her out, because they'll likely fall in love with her because you have fallen in love with her, I don't feel like I can go out and just say that to everybody, fully knowing that it's not going to be the case for the vast majority of people. Don't be alarmed if in the next few days I drop a video now talking about the good things about Yoimiya, because the people who have those accounts who fit this character and the conditions to play her optimally should go ahead and capitalize on this opportunity. I don't exist to fit one person's narrative. I'm in a fortunate position where I'm able to test so many characters in so many different scenarios because I have them all and I had the resources to build them all, pull for them in the first place, whereas many people don't have this opportunity. And I feel like in a way I am obligated as a content creator to share both the good side and the bad side. Alright, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like, subscribe if this helped you, and I hope to see you in my next video where I likely will flip this video on its head and talk about the other side of the spectrum. And if you are somebody who want to see that, I'll see you in that video. Till then, urge y'all to stay safe and peace.